The teachers that I have right now, and especially two of them that I've had for several years now, they've pushed me really hard to not only to give more, but to increase what my best looks like.
My biggest challenge was finding time to sleep. I really enjoy it, and a lot of the times my workload got in the way, but in the end, I figured out a nice schedule and worked out for the best.
I think I've learned so much in all of my classes, and I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to take those classes and to learn as much as I have. And I think that's education is really important, and that a well-rounded education is really important as well.
As I went out to interview with other colleges and meet other salutatorians and valedictorians, they were absolutely great, but also people who didn't rank as high as that were phenomenal. And it just showed me that although, yes, it is an honor to have this position, it overall in the long run isn't as big of a deal as most make it out to be.
Well, there are numbers of people who inspired me, but my parents are the people who influenced and inspired me the most. Not everyone gets the chance to study wherever they want, and my parents had to give up their time and money for me to get this chance, so I could never take that for granted.
With me taking AP and doing enrollment classes and playing sports, it's hard to balance out everything and, remember deadlines. You come home after practice like 5 or 6 o'clock and you're tired, but you have like loads of homework to do. So you have to be dedicated enough and understand that, hey, I want this sleep, but at the same time, I need to keep my grades up and do this work.
My goal was to be the best as I could be at my school. If I could be the valedictorian, then good for me, but I'm happy for what I've done, for all that I've done. So I'm fine with being number 2.
I didn't know I was this strong. I felt like, at times, I felt like I was really weak, that I couldn't continue and stuff. I felt like this was the end for me, But I didn't know that I had that much of a grit to actually continue and actually get to the point where I'm at right now, because it was just like a point. I had breaking points, basically.
I go by a mission statement that I learned. It says, education should be our #1 priority. It should mean more to us than an institution which has refused to grow with the needs of its students. Education means opening our minds to knowledge. It is the commitment to using our God-given intelligence to challenge and question those ideas and practices which are a part of the status quo in order to seek out better ways of thinking and doing.
Because of the neighborhood that we live in, I've lost a lot of my classmates to violence, so that's probably the only challenge that I've really just been affected by. To lose some of them, to come in with them and not leave, that's a really bad challenge.
I've never needed reassurance from people. I've always had this gut feeling in myself that I wanted to do more, and I've always, I love the spotlight. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't.
My biggest obstacle would be losing inspiration, and in order for me to accomplish my goal, I knew I had to encourage myself in order to stay on the right track.
So when you lose inspiration, how do you encourage yourself?
Look in the mirror and tell myself I can do it.
To me, it means determination. I would say being the salutatorian shows my determination of pushing forward.
The death of my father really took a toll on me, and I had to overcome that in my junior year. But I'm here today because I know it's what he would want. He was like my best friend, actually. We did everything together. I went everywhere with him, and he always pushed me to do my best.
What have you learned about yourself over the last 4 years?
I'm goofy.
You're goofy?
Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't the answer I was expecting. What makes you goofy?
I don't know, I play a lot, and I hate seeing people down, so when I see them down, I gotta make them laugh, so I have to do something funny.
Surround yourself with people you want to be like. If those people are not like you or not like how you want to be, you need to remove yourself from the situation. You want to make sure you have a great mindset going into your field or into your class. You want to You want to live life how you want to live life 20 years from now. You don't want to party now and mess up.
My mom, like seeing her, for a long time she went to school to be a nurse. Because at first she was focusing on RN, but then she kind of failed out, but then she still went back to do LPN, and it was already difficult seeing that she already had 5 kids to focus on, so it kind of made me more driven.
My English teacher, Miss Mia King, I took her my first year at East when I got there, and we hit it off from then on, and she has been my favorite teacher and just that driving force behind me to just to inspire me to have a thirst for knowledge, you know, to enjoy learning and to never become complacent. She says that all the time. She says that if you're not growing, then you're dying. Everything that is alive has to grow.
My advice would be to be your own person. Don't let peer pressure get to you. Don't try to blend in with people. Try to be outside the box. Just because your friends are doing it doesn't mean that you have to. They might say it's fun, but it might not be beneficial to you.
Well, I learned that I actually am open to trying new things, because I figured that by me being the person that I am, I just like to stick with what I know. But through high school, I realized I'm very adventurous, and I like to do things I never thought in a million years I pictured myself doing.
Chemistry, I love chemistry ever since I was in the 10th grade. It's like experimenting and coming up with new chemicals and stuff. It really excites me. And music has always been one of my passions. I can sing, write music, you know, I love that type of stuff. And I just think I can put it all together and be a singing chemist.
Last year, I lost my aunt to cancer, and literally a few weeks before that, I was talking to her, and she told me that she was just proud of me, and she can't wait to see me graduate. But in August, she just passed away. And I worked extra hard, the extra mile, sit up that extra hour that night to study for her.
At first, I wanted to be a doctor, but then I realized that nurses are actually more hands-on, and I figured, you know, the pay, it doesn't matter, it's what I actually get to do, and I figured I would be happier, you know, working hands-on than worrying about what I actually made.
It's my hope to, along the way, get to intern with some of the companies here locally. I'm a big Memphis person. I know there's a lot of people that aren't, but I think our community is where we need the work.
I've always been interested in the military, and I've always wanted to fly. And then sometime in middle school, I was told about the opportunity given at the academy. Come out as an officer and do what you really want to do, and for me, that's serve as an officer, to give back to the nation and honor those who have made so many sacrifices before me.
I can say the alphabet backwards. I know all the words to American Pie.
Okay, say the alphabet backwards.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Me with sing you one time next. CBA's my know I now. CYXWVUT SRQPONM LKJ IHD FED CBA.
Olivia, I can say she's like my little sister. And then Chris, I've known him since before high school and middle school. And I saw them as my friends. I saw them as people I can come to whenever I get stuck, and people that can help me with math or help me with other subjects. Whatever we lacked in, we helped the other succeed.
What's been the hardest thing you've had to do so far to get to this point?
Learning to appreciate my work rather than looking for everybody else's appreciation. I always try to fit in or just seeking for others' approval, but I just have to learn to be happy for myself.
Are you there?
I'm there.
Actually, the biggest challenge I've had was placed on me from birth. Statistically, I'm not supposed to be the valedictorian, or I'm supposed to be gang affiliated or involved in any criminal activity. But thankfully to my mother making sacrifices to pave the way for me and the outstanding teachers and peers that I have, I'm able to stand here before you today.
I applied for this Quest Bridge program. It was an awesome program, but I met all the requirements and whatnot, but I didn't get accepted into it. And so for me not to be accepted into that program, I was just like, oh my goodness, like, what did I do wrong? I thought there was something wrong with me. And for a while, I thought that. until I finally realized that you're not gonna win everything.
Like, I guess you could say, opening a door for those who doubt the language barrier that they have, that it's not an obstacle. It's not an obstacle you can't overcome, because you can. Because the greater the struggle one has, the greater the triumph they have when they overcome that.
I was kind of scared of the world when I was growing up. But the minute I hit high school, my personality completely changed. And I gained the confidence and the tools to go out and do new things and meet new people and try new skills and face failure and, you know, overcome that.
I really aspire to be like my mother, actually. She has a very strong mindset that women should be independent and should be able to support themselves fully. And so it's that drive in her that I feel like has really encouraged me to do well in school and to want to do well in college and grad school and to get a career so that I can support myself and to not be to have to rely on anybody else, and that I can just be completely independent like she is.
I'm a very open person. I just speak my mind. It just pops out. And people say that I'm crazy about how I speak, but I said, when there's something that I want to get off my mind, just blurt it out. I can't keep it in.
Temptation to just not do my work. Temptation to just go have some fun. Do what you want to do, you know? Why work hard? Why do that when it's so much easier to just sit down and watch TV? It's so much easier. The hardest part about high school is focusing and doing your work and just not collapsing into the greed of temptation.